Alright, welcome. This will be the 6th unofficial community game of 2023. For the Allied powers, Stevie Mac will be playing as Russia, Mannix will be playing as the United Kingdom, and myself, Cobra, will be playing as United States. For the Axis powers, Plank Boy will be playing as Germany, and Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, will be playing as Japan. If you'd like to be a part of these games, go over to Mannix's Discord server. I'll put the link in the description, and Mannix or I host these games every so often, and you're more than welcome to join in. So with that, we will get right into the gameplay. Alright, United States round number 1. So we had a good Russia opener when Germany then countered, and they actually stacked Karelia in round 1. Actually, our opener was kind of... we lost a lot of guys in Russia, so that's pretty thin there. Germany did kill C-Zone 7, but then UK killed the German leftovers. But this guy's going to probably die because he's got the 4 fighters in Finland, which is in a great spot to hit C-Zone 7. Also, this is a great spot for the Japanese bomber, because with the Japanese bomber here... all I have is a destroyer if I decide to land in Morocco. So he has no German Air Force here, so that's like, oh, well, we can take Morocco. But this guy right here, he can go and range 13 and get all the way to Algeria. I don't like the odds of a bomber against one single destroyer. UK had a decent round 1. They fortified India a little bit and killed the battleship and the transport in the Med. Built 2 more fighters, presumably for West Russia, and landed 3 fighters in West Russia. They also requested my USA fighter here, so I'm going to send them there. And we're going to get 3 more fighters into India in round 2. Because the only thing ranging 45 is 1 sub. So our purchase for America was an aircraft carrier, a transport, and a destroyer, and a fighter. We had to buy the extra fighter because we're sending the 3 from Western United States down to go to India. So we're not going to have any combat. For the combat, we were going to take Morocco, but then I spotted this bomber here, so I decided against taking Morocco. Just because I don't like the odds. So we're not going to do any combat. Alright. So for the non-combat phase, our fighter here is going to go to West Russia. Our 2 infantry are going to go to Kazakh. Our cruiser is going to go into 12. Our destroyer into 10. 2 infantry, an artillery, and a tank into Canada. 2 transports into 10. Also, this here, bomber, I did the math, 1, 2, 3, 4, but he can't land anywhere, so we're pretty safe in C-Zone 10. Let's see here. Okay, this fighter is going to land in Western Australia. Our aircraft carrier, our destroyer, and our submarine are going to go to 45. This fighter to 45, and this fighter from the Western United States into 45, so all 3 of them can get to India next turn. And then everything else is leaving the Pacific, which I absolutely hate to do, but I haven't found a strategy that is better at this point. Our bomber will go... what's a good spot for our bomber? I guess England, the best spot for it. And then we'll move these 2 guys up here. And this guy up here also. And I think that's it. Pretty simple USA round 1. Alright, our aircraft carrier, and our fighter, and our destroyer, and our transport all go to Eastern United States. All right. All right, that'll be the end of America round 1, and I'll see you guys back for round number 2. All right, round number 2. So Russia bought 8 infantry and an artillery. They traded Ukraine, so they took it back. And then they fortified West Russia as best they can, and then mobilized into Russia. Germany bought 11 infantry and 2 artilleries, put the 2 artilleries in Karelia, 10 infantry in Germany and an infantry in Italy, and took back Ukraine, and then stacked Karelia, so he's got a solid stack in Karelia. UK took Northwestern for free, and then bought a fleet so we can get ready to start landings in Europe, because I think the only way to get pressure off of Russia, of course, is to make as many landings as possible in Europe. And then the UK lost some guys here in Germany. Germany moved back and took Libya. And so we're going to have to contest Africa. We can't have Germany have the money, and it really helps if UK's got some income. So we're going to have to deal with that. So obviously my priorities as America are to support UK as best I can and Russia as best I can, and get a shuck going for, it looks like we're going to go to Finland, Norway. So I want to get up and running with 8 transports. So I went ahead and bought 1 more transport. So I'll have 5 now. 6 infantry, 2 artilleries, and a fighter. The other thing Japan did is Japan moved 6 fighters over here to East Indies. And I think this was kind of like a... He sees my fleet here. He knows what I'm going to do. I'm going to ship fighters over to India. But he left his carriers with no planes on them in 61. Well, if the planes were in 61... with the carriers, then obviously I count the carriers going 1, 2, 3, and then going back here, and I would consider this vulnerable. But if they're here, I may look at this and just go 1, 2, 3. Oh, he can't land anywhere, forgetting about the carriers up here. So it's actually kind of a sneaky move, if that's what it was meant to be. Not exactly sure. But what we're going to do is we're going to send our 3 fighters to India, and then we're going to back our fleet off to 41, make it look like we're leaving the Pacific, but we bought an extra fighter we're going to throw in Western United States. If the threat moves from here, like maybe he flies his fighters inland, and there's no threat on 45, next turn we can go back to 45, fly the fighter down here, and we can get another fighter into India in round 4, which may be helpful. So, but we'll have to see. And then this stuff is going into the Atlantic. So really, I mean, the bomber could threaten Sea Zone 13. And so can his 2 fighters here. But I have enough to defend now. So I'm going to take a tank and 1 infantry. Go to 13 with 1 transport. Take Morocco. See what Germany's money is. 39. We're going to bomb Germany. All right. And that's all the combat we're going to do for America. It's pretty short and sweet. That's all we're going to do. Oh yeah, I got to move the cruiser and the destroyer from 12 and 10 into Sea Zone 8 to protect UK's fleet, so we're going to do that for sure. All right, that was nice. We were able to hit Germany for 6 IPCs, which is pretty sweet. So we'll move the bomber back to United Kingdom. We will take our cruiser and our destroyer and go to Sea Zone 8. We're going to take our aircraft carrier, our 2 fighters, and this destroyer and go to Sea Zone 13. This transport is going to move up here. One infantry is going to move over there. Our battleship is going to move to 12 with our another destroyer. This transport will move to 11. Our Western Australia fighter and our 2 fighters from Sea Zone 45 will all move to India. And this fleet will back off to 41. So it may give the impression that we're leaving, or we can pop back because we're going to mobilize a fighter here. Alaska's not under threat yet. We'll just leave this guy there. Actually, we'll move him over 1, just in case we need to shuffle him over. And then these guys here will go to the Caucasus. Germany's not going to be able to hit them yet. With only 2 infantry against 3 infantry, I mean, he can use the fighters, but he's risking. He's not really. That's not a great battle to take with only 2 infantry. So we'll see if that works. I'm going to try to defend Russia as best as possible. All right. Alright, fighter and 4 infantry are going into Western United States, 2 infantry, 2 artillery, and the transport are going into Eastern United States. And then we'll be able to move and shuffle these guys around. I always like to keep a handful of infantry on the west coast just in case they pivot and start landing guys here, so we have an immediate response instead of being turns away buying stuff. So that's why I do that. All right, that's the end of round number 2. And I'll see you guys back for round 3. All right, United States, round number 3. So, we had an interesting round 3 so far. Russia bought 4 artilleries and 3 infantry, and then they actually expanded into Ukraine and Bello and took them both. Germany countered. They repaired 3 points of damage from their industrial complex, and then they bought infantry and artillery, and then they took back Ukraine, and the big battle was they had a stack in Karelia, if you recall. They hammered West Russia and lost. So the big battle was West Russia, and they lost this battle. Soviet Union held on with 2 fighters left. That was it. Germany also did recapture northwestern Europe. And then he moved out of France, consolidated his stuff in Germany. United Kingdom bought some tanks and another transport. And they took Karelia, killed the Japanese bomber there, which was important. And they took Burma, but of course Japan was able to take it back, and they moved into took Trans. So that was a successful turn for United Kingdom. And then Japan bought another transport, 6 infantry, and 2 tanks. He put the 2 tanks in Kaitung, 6 infantry, and a transport in Japanese waters here. Then he pushed forward towards Russia. So he has a decent amount of land forces here in Asia, heading towards Russia. So, for United States, we want to continue to establish the Shuk. We're going to actually go into the northwestern Shuk this turn because Germany lost their bomber and a handful of fighters in the West Russia attack. So we're able to actually capture both of these this turn and set it up so we can start shipping over troops every turn. Also, he moved the 6 fighters out of East Indies into Yunnan, which means they no longer have range of C-Zone 45, and I don't see a bomber on the board for Japan, so I'm actually going to take this fighter and land it in 45 this turn to get it over to India in round 4. The more United States fighters, or any fighters for that matter, we can get into India, the better, as far as we may be able to have to bounce them up to Russia or maybe Karelia or Kazakh, because it looks like we're going to stack Kazakh. That seems to be the plan. So for America, I just bought another fighter, because if they don't defend this, I can keep shipping fighters over to India and get a lot of fighters over there. I suspect that they're going to plug that hole. But I bought another transport and 4 infantry, 2 artilleries to get the Shuk going. So for the turn, we're going to take Libya again, or Algeria, and move back. And then we're going to take 1 infantry and 1 artillery, go to C-Zone 3 and take Finland. And then we'll take the other 2 infantry, go to C-Zone 3 and take Norway. And then our battle that was requested by our allies is this one here. We're going to hit Kazakh and hopefully capture it. And then can the bomber get there? No, it can't, so we'll bomb Germany again. Because with Germany so thin, the less money they can spend on reinforcements, the better. So I think it's a decent play. And then here we're going to shuffle our troops around to protect. This is safe, I think, with him only having 2 fighters, but let's make it a doubly safe. And that way, when we move up to 3, when we establish the Shuk, we'll be in a good defensive position. And we're going to land some more troops in Africa just to squeeze the Germans out of here. So let's see how the combat goes. Okay, combat was a success. So our 3 planes will fly back to India. Our bomber did the 3 IPC of damage that Germany just paid to repair. So we will fly back to UK. We are going to take our destroyer and throw it over into C-Zone 5. Our cruiser will go up to C-Zone 3. Our aircraft carrier, our fighters, our other destroyer, and our battleship, and our other destroyer will go to... Actually, no, we won't. This destroyer will go to 13. I don't think he has anything in range of this, but I just hate leaving unguarded transports and then having something bite me in the ass. I know it's only one destroyer, but it's only one transport, so that's fine. So we're going to send this transport over to 10. We're going to send one transport over to 10, so we'll have 2 there. We're going to pick up 1 artillery and 1 infantry. Go to 13 and drop it in Morocco. The other 2 are going to move up. And these 2 guys are going to move over. So now we have 4 units, 2 transports, so we'll have 4 units to shuck over there. We'll move these 4 up into Western Canada. We'll take our fighter, fly it down to 45. We'll take our aircraft carrier and fly it over there with the destroyer and the sub and support. Because he doesn't have anything that can range us yet. Because these aircraft carriers, 1, 2, can't get there. So we'll get at least 1 more fighter into India next turn. Alrighty. Alright. Alright, fighter goes on the west coast. Artilleries and 2 infantry go on the east coast. 2 infantry on the west coast. And a transport in Sea Zone 11. So now if I did the math right, I got 4 units here, 4 units here. At the end of next turn, I'll have 4 transports here and 8 units to send over into the Netherlands. So I think that's pretty good. And we'll just keep squeezing Germany as much as we can. We left France for England because he can use a little bit of extra money. And then we actually can threaten Italy if we want, or Southern Europe. As long as he doesn't build any more fighters, we could probably even grab some stuff and go into make some landings here. But at least we'll have an option to do that. Alright, that's going to be the end of United States, round number 3, and our whole round number 3. And I'll be back when it's round 4. Alright, welcome back. This is the end of the game. The Axis powers decided to forfeit. Basically, they couldn't recover from the failed attack on West Russia by Germany in round 3. It was just too much to overcome. Once that happened and failed, it didn't look like Japan was ever going to crack into Russia, and so it was just going to be a prolonged game, but really the Axis didn't see a path to victory, so they decided to forfeit rather than drag the game on, which was probably the right move, in my opinion. We were already landing in Europe, and I think we would have continued landing given the fact that most of German attack power was lost in the West Russia attack. And as a last-ditch effort, Japan hit Kazakh with a stack and lost. But at that point, I think they'd already decided to forfeit, and they just went for broke and threw it in there in Russia. Combined Russia and United Kingdom held on there. So it was a quick game. Sometimes these things happen, you know. If you go for a major battle early and it doesn't go your way, sometimes it just turns the tide way too much, so it becomes unrecoverable. But because this game was short, we're going to run it back again. So we're going to do a rematch real quick because 3 rounds is not. We didn't even finish round 4, so that's going to be the end of the game and the end of this video. Again, if you guys want to participate in these community games, go over to Mannix's Discord server. I'll put the link in the description. And every so often, we get these games together, and then they go up on the YouTube channel. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys back for another video.